What now? What now is the question of the day. What now? What now is the question, guys. So a lot of you had a lot of suggestions about what to do with having to sell the shop. Well, I want to show you what the plan is. Loosely. We're at the new house, and part of the thing is Andrew, we love the new house. It's bigger, it's better for a family. It doesn't have the big shop, but it does have a shop. And we have plans. So I'm just going to show you what the plan is. Like, what now do we do? And in the end, this is going to be better for Dad, better for us, and make it easier for me to support Dad. And Dad is not destitute. Dad is doing what Dad wants to do, which he really wants to be on his own property. So if he wants to dig a hole or cut a tree down, he can do whatever the heck he wants. And he also still wants to travel, and he would like to go to Arizona again. So that's why not putting a house or a trailer or whatever on his property right now is the better plan, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but we got winter here. And to keep a house empty over the winter, it costs money and is a pain in the butt. So Dad is not destitute. He's doing what he wants to do. He's also not really into working on trucks anymore. It's not to say he won't help me. And if I could go to the shop, he would be right in there helping me with stuff. But you know what? Since Mom died, it's been really, really tough. Thankfully, Dad did meet a lady that's been a companion, someone to talk to, someone to go over stuff. She lost her husband 5 years ago. So Doreen has literally been a lifesaver. I worry what could have happened to Dad, had he not had someone his own age to talk to about grief and losing, your special person. So it's, things are changing. And you know what? Ultimately, when I built that other shop, it was to add value to the property, and I love it. But right now, I'm only there like 1 day a week, maybe 2 at the max, and the rest of the time it sits empty. Now, granted, Dad gets to go in, play in it, but he's not using it all the time either. So, anyways, this is the new house. It's beautiful. It's bigger than the other house. So if I have to house Dad, we got room in the basement. I got a 3-car garage instead of a carport. This is the 47. If you guys didn't know, it's lawn art that runs and drives. We're going to put it out by the road, but I worry about kids damaging it, and I don't want that. And I kind of love the driveway here. Hopefully one day we can have big gates and it'll be like an estate. But this is where I'm thinking, if I'm going to build a shop, which is what I would like to do, we'll either angle it this way with doors coming out, or put it on an angle this way, or just stick it right back here up against the property line. That's our well house. So, of course, we're still on a well. And I got to move Kenny because I need to plow this snow. And I got Dad's trailer, which I'm going to need it for hauling stuff over here. So, I'm going to show you what this property is all about and what the plan is. So at the back here, my property line doesn't go too far into there, but it's nice because it kind of slopes down. It's all protected. This is a pile of brush that I made that I got to burn because the shop at this house is over there. And I was thinking about taking out this clump of trees if I build a shop here. But I don't know. It's room, but it's not as much room as I would like. Because the one thing is, when you start building a shop, you realize how much space you have to clear out, because you need to be able to drive around it to put tin on and stuff too. But part of why I got to clear it is I've got this seasonal roadway back here that goes to the back of the other shop, and I need to get a container to put all my truck parts in. So they don't, get ruined with weather. And it's kind of nice having, a little clump of trees here. So, I could also put a shop here and then you know, have it so it's a little more secluded from the house. But I don't plan on building an ugly shop because Andrea would never go for that. And there are deer here like all the time. Like there's some more hoofer prints and rabbits. A rabbit will probably come zipping out of there. Neighbor's house is actually just in behind the trees there. So we also have 6 acres here. So the property is narrower but longer. So at the other house we have 15 acres, whereas here it's only 6. But honestly, we don't need any more than that. And of course you come over here, there's the house there, door to the garage, and then this is the shop. Now this shop is 30 by 40 with 2 lean-tos. I got my snowblower, haven't had to use it yet this winter. I got my junk wood pile, the brush mower, and I've got some truck parts already. Which, I don't know if I remember sharing this, but so at work, the body shop cleaned out a bunch of old stuff, and this is an old B model cab that had daylight doors, and being that it's older, they don't really fix trucks of this vintage anymore. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? And they're like, well, we're probably gonna throw it in the dumpster. So me being a frugal guy I am, I asked if I could have it for a couple of reasons. I've got switches with some labels there and indicator lights. Of course, we have daylight doors that I could use in a cab over. The dash could be savable to where it's only missing, well, I guess it's missing, it's got the center panel, that panel. So it's missing a panel there and a panel there. So anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is I could use this dash and take that parts truck that I got, put it in that, and kind of rebuild a truck. Don't tell Andrea that, because when I mention that, she's not the supportive truck wife like she should be. She doesn't condone that. But you know what? If I collect the parts one day it could be a thing. Now this one is just a shell of a truck. It was actually an aero cab. I had everything tarped up, but you know, wind came and kind of ruined that for me. So this one is a shell. I don't remember. I can't remember there is a dash in there. And I also wanted it for the door frames, because I might need them for Kenny one day to replace door frames. Or I might need those door frames. I don't know, but I can use them for something. This here is actually dual air intakes for a Freightliner cab over. A customer of mine, customer of Peterbilt Pacific, gave them to me because he doesn't have a use for them, probably never use them. And he's like, you know what? You could use some air intakes. I don't know that I'm going to use them on Kenny because those are Freightliner and they're painted. And I want to use, and when I say Kenny, I mean Smoky, because I was going to use a stainless one or ones off the parts truck. So, but I got them. So, yeah, we can use those one day. So with this shop, we've got the 2, I guess you'd call it carports. Of course, we've got my motorhome in here. And then I've got the 2 Pete's undercover. Of course, in the one video, you saw me parking Stubby there. The beauty is I can park Kenny all the way back here, so his cab doesn't get snowed on, and the back end, you know, can get snowed on. But, so this is handy dandy. The only problem is it's only, like just 13 feet to that beam. So when you have aerodynes, like, well, like Kenny, last year I had Kenny nosed in, but only up to there because the stacks would hit. The whale tail might hit too. I'm not sure. So that's a bummer. And of course, because the windshield was leaking like a sieve on Stubby, we put him undercover because, you know, this truck is awesome. It's got a new 18 speed. It's got an N14 that runs like a Swiss watch, maybe even better than a Swiss watch. And yeah, so we just have to do the windshield one of these days. So it kind of sucks to have to go to working outside, but it's only temporary. Now you might be asking yourself, Mike, you got 3 bays there. Why don't you put some trucks in it? Well, it's too small. It's one of the problems with this place. When they built the shop, they built them too small. It's great for cars and my pickup and camper, but the doors are only 10 feet wide and 12 feet high. And the 30 is only 30 that way. So basically, I think on the inside, like wall to garage door is like 28 feet. So Kenny would fit in there lengthwise, but it won't fit in there height-wise. Stubby, I should measure. Stubby might actually fit. You know that, if I take the stacks off. I don't think the stacks would fit, but I might be able to fit it in there. I'm going to have to measure that. Because if Stubby does fit, as long as I have enough room to get around the front and have a ladder there, then I could do the windshield. But the problem is, if it's 28 feet long and it fits, but you're right up against the wall, well, you don't have enough room to work. So what I'm thinking is, after we sell the other place and I sell my dream shop, of course, everything's going to be here. My plan is to park the trucks over there, the ones that get towed. The driving ones are going to be over here. I'm going to park Kenny right here. I'm going to move the Expedition. Also, my oldest boy, Cooper, finally got his novice license, so he can drive without me, which is awesome. It's kind of awesome because he's a late bloomer when it comes to driving. Let's just say that. And he wasn't really into it. In this last 6 months, he got into it. So we were driving and we had a snow event on Wednesday. It was snowing and slippery and all that. And that was when his test was. He's like, well, maybe we should postpone it. And I'm like, no, my windshield is still in one piece. So you're going to take your test. And he passed. He was like one of the only kids or people that passed that day. Taking their test in the snow. So, and the kicker is, when you take your driver's test, all your lights have to work. You can't have a cracked windshield. And in this town, everything has a cracked windshield because the sand is like rocks. And yeah, so I still had a new windshield, so we were doing it. So the plan is, I can work on trucks under here. I'm not sure. K100s I won't be able to, because I won't be able to tip the cab forward. But the plan is to park the trucks over there that don't run. I'll get a tow truck to back them in. And then we're either going to build a shop on its own, or probably what's more likely to happen is make this into shop. Either, I want to see if I could make a 13-foot door and have it go up there, or I also thought about putting a big door on that end and making it go this way. And then I could add on a little bit and have because then it would be like 30. Well, then I could actually make it 30 by 60, but then I have to make a driveway that goes around. So we could do that, but I'm not sure. So I'm not sure. And I don't have, well, I was going to say I don't have that much room, but we've got a lot of room. It's just how we're going to make it work for the trucks. And we can't do anything until we sell the other house and see how much equity we get out of it. If we get a decent amount of equity, maybe I can do something sooner. But honestly, with the greenhouse gas rules and the whole challenges around that, and I'm a salesman, so I need to batten down the hatches and plan for a bumpy ride. Not saying that it's going to be a bumpy ride, but the reality is you got to live within your means, Mike. I know, it's no fun. But we got to do what you got to do. And thank God, trucking has been good to us. I'm 50. What am I? 52. Started working when I was 16. So anybody was like, oh yeah, you're like rich. No, I'm not rich. I just worked a lot my entire life. And I still make poor financial decisions. Hence why I have project trucks and project parts. But so our 6 acres goes out this way too. So I could also build a big clearing here and build a shop. We actually have another road frontage on the other side of the 6 acres. So I could take and build a shop with a truck entrance. But the problem with that is security. I worry about, you know, someone accessing the property from that side and breaking into your shop, which would not be good. Because let's face it, crime is getting worse in these countries. At least it is in Canada. You know, when you legalize crack and methamphetamines and cocaine, yeah, it's legal to carry. I'm not kidding. You know, because, well, it's an addiction. But problem is, yeah, you make it easy for people to use drugs, then they get addicted, then they need to buy more drugs. And then how do they do that? They steal stuff. Of course, then the government gives them, you know, drugs, you know, to help them. But I know it's stupid. Anyways, we're not talking about that. So yeah, the other thought was, of course, because this is like the carport side, if we look here, right there, it's taller. So maybe I could add on here and make bays this way. The problem with that is then I have to make a driveway around here and then have enough of a driveway here to come in, which isn't ideal, because then you need to buy gravel and do dirt work, because this is clay. And the problem with that is dirt work is not cheap. Now, the nice thing is I don't have to worry about septic here because, well, you can't see them here, but we've got these ugly green things there. We've got a lagoon back there. And our lagoon, for those of you that don't know what a lagoon is, it's basically an open pit where all your septic number 2s go, and it forms a layer of green stuff. It doesn't stink or anything, but it's kind of like a mini lake for all your stuff to decompose. So yeah, being by it is, that's why it's on the other side of the property. But this is actually temporary fencing we put up. And my plan was when we build a real fence, I'll sell the temporary fencing, but it actually works really good. So been here 2 years and still using it as fence. One day, and that there, if you're wondering, is a dog ramp. So Sully, our Newfoundland, is 10 years old, and we have pet insurance, and thank God, because pet insurance is spent an ungodly amount on his knees and stuff. Like, we're talking like $35,000 or something. We haven't spent that, but pet health insurance. If you love your animals, get pet health insurance. Trupanion. It's been a lifesaver for the dog. But yeah, I made a covered ramp, so he has a ramp to get down into the yard that's not slippery and snowy. Who knew I was so handy? Andrew does. That's why she keeps giving me all these projects. But yeah, so I think the best is to enclose this and then move the wall out, like maybe bring the roof down some more and give it some length. And then that would give me my shop. Ideally, I would like to do that all the way across and bring it out, because then I can park my cars in the lower part and have a taller part to maybe put, well, I could put the motorhome on that side then if it was deeper, because the motorhome isn't as tall, but yeah, it's longer than 28 feet. It's like 31, so we're like 3 feet short of it fitting. And a lot of y'all, or some of y'all, said, Mike, why don't you sell your motorhome? Why don't you sell some toys for your dad? Keep the other house. Well, the reality is, in a depressed market, slow economy, RVs don't sell. And if they do, they sell for pennies on the dollar. So never buy an RV as an investment, because they are not an investment. They're a liability, let me tell you. Don't get me wrong, we love camping, but selling it, you just can't. So I'm not selling my toys. And you know what? It is paid for, which I guess you could say would be a reason to sell. And is it really paid for? You know, maybe you took money online. You know, there's a debate as to how you say it's paid for. But yeah, so the plan is to either enclose this, which is probably the cheapest thing, but I got to bump it out so that I could fit the trucks better, because the motorhome doesn't fit either. And have a truck work bay and a motorhome work bay, because I really only need one bay to work on trucks. Now, I would also like to keep the trucks under cover, and I actually thought about getting a coverall shelter like the fabric ones, but I've heard way too many stories of them not packing the snow load and collapsing on people's stuff. So I don't think that's the right idea. I think if I'm going to do something like that, you'd be better off to build a pole shed with a roof, like a proper roof. You know, like build a pole barn, something like that to park them under. But yeah, so anyways, that is the plan. I know I haven't showed you inside the shop yet, but I have my cars in there, and I don't know what you guys are going to think about the cars. You might think I'm spoiled, but you know what? It's okay to spoil yourself once in a while, because I love Corvettes. And if you follow my other channel, Mike's Garage, you'll see my cars. I don't post on there very much, and I don't know that I would say they're really good content. Well, I think they're good content. Well, they're okay content. But yeah, that's where I got my cars. And ultimately, I started doing YouTube to help pay for cars. Didn't quite work out that way, because I love trucks. And if you guys have trucks, you know, it's an expensive career, job, hobby. So anyways, so yeah, I could build a shop in here, or I could add another. I could add on to this building and have it go out this way. I have to take down some trees, which those trees I don't like anyways. But let's go back over here and just review this again. So yeah, part of why I plowed this all out the other day is the ground isn't frozen yet. I know you're surprised because there's snow all over it, but it's still soft underneath. And if I want to put a container in behind the shop, I need to get the single axle deck truck that I hire to be able to back in, and so we need this to be hard. And it's warmed up, so snow's falling off the trees and it's a little freaky. I gotta get my saw out and buck this tree, get it out of the way, and burn this pile so I have more room. But this is a great spot over here to put something as well. I mean, there's power there, but the problem is that's well power, which is shared, so don't really want to use that. I could dock some trees back here, but I kind of like keeping the nice evergreens. You know, the poplary things, those can go. I hate those things. They're like a weed out here. But evergreens, you know what? They're just nice to look at. So, but my plan is, you know, when I think about it, there's a lot more room here than when you get out here, because I have 3 trucks. So I have K2, the Peterbilt 359, and the Kenworth parts truck. You know, plus I have Smokey, but hopefully I can get Smokey running before the other house sells. I know, if all goes well, the engine shows up. He was saying you might be able to bring it up January 2nd. So maybe I can get the engine in January and it's driving, which would be fantastic. I don't want to hold my breath because I'd probably pass out, but it'd be fantastic if that happens. So then I can call a wrecker and back, or nose, I should say nose. So he would pull up there, back them in here, and nose the 3 trucks here, go. And hopefully I can leave enough room that I can get around there. But I gotta burn that pile over the holidays, and yeah, put the project trucks there. And I got the well house here, which, you know, it's fun. We actually made the well house so the roof comes off. Well, I didn't, because we didn't own this place then. But they made it like that, so if you ever have to replace the well, you don't have to disassemble the well house, you just pop the roof off. And we're gonna start Kenny and move them over there so I can plow the snow out here, because I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put all my truck parts, which maybe I could put them down in there. I thought about in the trees here too, so I even thought about maybe putting a container here to put my truck parts. So we might do that because it's easy and it's kind of out of the way. I got a few logs of firewood there I got to take out, and there's a little bit of spare gravel there, and there's some pea gravel underneath that hump. But yeah, so we'll move Kenny up to the house, and I think it's going to work out. It's going to be just fine. And you know what? That was my dream garage, but you know what? You can always build it better. So when we update, whether we add on to that garage or build a designated Mike the Truck Nut shop, I can do it again and do red tin, because I'm not gonna, you know how I love my red. And that way it keeps, the truck's kind of tucked out of here. And, we also have, if I do add on over there, it's nice because we have shelter from the road. So anyways, guys, that's what's next. I got a lot of stuff I gotta move, which is a bit of a bugger, but it's okay. At the end of the day, it's gonna make the channel better. It's gonna make life easier for me. It's gonna make life easier for Dad, and I ain't going anywhere. Well, hopefully you care that I don't go anywhere. But and check out the 47. I kind of love this old truck. And that is the deck off of Kenny. And the reason why I took the deck off of Kenny and put it on here is, well, for one, the 47 1.5 ton, it just suits it. And Kenny, we're going to stretch. I'm not saying we're stretching him right now, and maybe it'll be this summer, depending on how things go. Because at the end of the day, you know what? Stuff costs money. I know. Not a shocker. That's why I tell Andrea all the time. Or maybe she tells me that all the time. But, oh, there's something knocking. But anyways, guys, all is not forgotten. Dad is not going to be destitute. It's going to be a stinker not having a shop for a little bit, but we're going to build it back. I was going to say bigger and better. Maybe not bigger. Well, you never know. Could win Lotto Max tonight, and then everything is a game changer then. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it very much. And let me know what you think. Do we try and build a standalone shop, or do I put a pole barn here for parking the trucks under so they don't have to be snowy like that, and just add on to the garage over there? Or do we try and build a standalone shop? So we have options. And at the end of the day, it does not have to happen overnight. And the beauty, if we do build a standalone shop, is then I could build it exactly the same as the last one, i.e. 40 by 60. But if it's got a metal roof, I'd put the door on the front. Andrew's the one that wanted the door on the side, and when the snow comes off the roof, it blocks the door and you have to shovel it out. Real pain in the butt. But in the meantime, I'm not destitute because, I got a little bit of space. Although the shop is jammed right full because I've got the pickup and camper there. I've got 2 cars in my lift there, stacked, and then I have 2 cars parked there up against the wall. Then I have my tractor because, I actually plowed snow yesterday, but it kept snowing. But it's nice having the tractor inside because, well, for obvious reasons, then it's warm and the hydraulics work like that. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. And you know what? I can't begin to let you know how much I appreciate the support. We're not going anywhere, but we're going to do a lot more cool things. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do more new truck stuff, too, because people seem to like it. And I like it, too, because it's what I do for a living. I'm a truck nut. I love them all, sell them all, and, well, mostly new Peter. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking because there's probably nobody watching anymore. Although I'd probably watch just to see what he's going to do next in case he does something stupid. Because I've been known to do something stupid. Yeah, it's just the beginning of the next adventure.